Well, bienvenue YouTube. Welcome to the video here on the channel. My name is Emily. Today we are here at Edinburgh Waverley on the Network Scott East route. Now, today we're driving from here at Edinburgh Waverley over to Cowlies Junction. This is the West Highland Pullman. It's train 12243, and it started today at Shenfield at 6:15 this morning. It's a quarter past 2 in the afternoon, 20 past 2 in the afternoon. And we're taking it further up towards the West Highland line. So it's run up the Great Eastern Main Line to Ipswich, across to Peterborough, then up the East Coast Main Line as far as Edinburgh, and now we're doing the hop across Scotland. In the cab, I've already set the train up because that's just who I am. I should have the door open, that would have been a bit of law. Slam the door closed as we get in the cab. Oh look, the signal's been pulled off for us, happy days. Really quick plug for myself, this is my scenario. It'll be available from the Train Sim Community website. Now, full disclosure, I've tried to record this before and it went wrong, so we'll run back through it, but I am driving this mainly with the HUD today because I've not really had a chance to go through and actually try and memorise much of this route. I've just been sort of banging a scenario out so I can actually record something that not everyone else will have out. So, absolutely love the livery. So this is the Highland Pullman, so you can see got the Pullman logo, not the Midland Pullman, point this out in more detail. And because I'll be talking about this momentarily, that's the logo they have, which is a bit different to the normal Midland Pullman logo. So in terms of the manual, we've got some liveries. They started off as an Intercity Swallow, so these were like the first VP185s from memory were fitted as a test during the days of BR. And basically the end result is obviously that they've some of them are still running nowadays, which is great. So it was Intercity Swallow, and there was Eastern Region power cars and some ATP fitted power cars, and then after privatisation, Great Western trains, Fagpacker, Great Western White, Great Western Barbie, and also GNER had one 43167, which was in the white logo and in the yellow logo for a while. Also Middle Mainline, original light clusters, revised light clusters, the Middle Mainline blue with Middle Mainline logo, without the Middle Mainline logo, and with the East Mids Trains logo. Then of course for the lines share, well for 11 years I guess they spent in the livery, it was the VP185, the East Mids Trains livery, which is East Mids logo with white font numbers, white front numbers, sorry, East Mids Trains without the logo, East Coast logo, with Cowlies logo, with 125 Group logo, with Southwest Trains logo. And I did have a quick Google of that earlier and I couldn't actually find any reference to it, so if anyone knows, do let me know. And of course the Midland Pullman, which is what we're driving today. The sort of thing, it is one of the Nankin blue livery, and that's obviously Midland Pullman, with the Midland Pullman logo, and with the Pullman West Highland logo. External variations, as we accelerate into Princes Street tunnels. When I say this is external variations, you've got nameplates are fitted. That's all nameplates that have been worn by VP185 engine power cars as of this year. Marston cooler group, Cirque Voith cooler group, Brush cooler group. Original LED marker tail lights, middle mainline 3 lights, LED top marker light, and then also the original surrounds, which is original light cluster surrounds are different colours as well, and that can be silver, green, or purple, depending on the livery. Luggage van window, so obviously behind, I'll show you on the exit of the tunnel, but obviously on the rear of the coach, the rear of the power car, sorry, there's a sliding door, which is a luggage van, or luggage space, so luggage can get shoved in there, and got 3 window versions on that, which is original, opening window removed, and grille, and the grille was only, I think, fitted to sort of make the delivery look more right on the Pullmans, but this, for whatever reason, this one didn't get a grille, so it's got a grille on there. Original the rear guard windows, so those have been removed on quite a few of the deliveries, on quite a few of the locos, sorry, but there are some that still obviously have that fitted due to the era, and also some that have a little grille cover on there. Probably just, like I say, it's the Pullman livery, so I think it's to sort of match the original Midland Pullman, like, aesthetics more. I want to open the throttle up into full power now. There we go, and there's one of the Pastor 170 entering the tunnel, and that was an NHS livery. That's the BTP one right there. And of course, in the Scott Rail friendo sitting there in a marker. We've also got the aerial modelled correctly. Now this log code doesn't have it, but in the days of CSR you'd have an aerial bunker there, which was basically the way your radio worked. Obviously the CSR, whilst the control panel is still here, it doesn't function, we just use the GSM on it. I'm leaving the throttles wide open. Our next point is 100 miles an hour. Also, in the 1980s, this is standard to the other liveries, other packs as well, but some power cars had their part of the coolant grill removed to provide easier access, an easily accessible coolant refilling point. Sorry, words are hard today. This never became a region-wide modification, but has remained on their own power cars ever since. Such as 050, which is the lead power car's got it, and so has the trailing power car, which is 050. And for those of you wondering, you've got lock shield on the rear, and lock morale on the front. Why don't you go to lock trade? Let's lock shield and lock morale. I'm not sure, sorry about that. Variants, you've got trailer first, 41 triple X, trailer guard first, 44 triple X, trailer guard standard, 44 triple X, trailer restaurant first buffet, 4 and 2XX. Basically slightly different regions, different specs on the Mark 3s. Trailer restaurant first kitchen, trailer restaurant first buffet, which is 4 and 7XX, so again different spec interiors. TRFB, which is so different specs, different operators, and right the way up to the middle Pullman one, which has all the windows blanked out, which is really weird. Love to see inside that. Then trailer first, so trailer standard disabled, trailer standard disabled Great Western variant. Yeah, so quite a few different variants. When it comes to cab variants, you've got the standard cab, which is sort of the original. This variant is used on the NSX Swallow middle mainline liveries, DRA, TWBS, power car number, driver's seat. Vigilant isolation switch and firebolt pressure lights appear depending on the era of the livery. Great Western that's fitted with ATP, DRA, TWS, power off, quick jump brake to get back down. Sorry, I'm just trying to read and driving, it's hard. ATP, DRA, TPBS and driver's seat appear depending on the era of the livery. And refurbished, and that's the most recent model just for your East West trains and Middle Pullman liveries. 100 miles an hour is as fast as we're going to get today. You also got the cab tour, which is standard HST stuff. Nothing really of note here. I will turn the fan factor up. Uh-oh. Interestingly, that doesn't appear to work. But that basically what that should do is increase my the volume of the fans. We'll check that out in a bit. Features, the physics, those have been fixed in relation, not like obviously. So they've fixed the words are hard. They've set the RPMs up to be correct, and also the hills mechanics. So basically, train seems to ignore hills that were less than 1 in 200, but this now does. Wave to our colleague, Scott Rail. Now, load timings. When revving up from off to notch 5, takes about 30 seconds for full power to be supplied. This is around 10 seconds longer than on an MTU or Valenta. Due to this lag, it's by no means unusual to begin getting power before actually needing to accelerate, especially at speed. In addition to this, a rather bizarre modification was made at Binaural Hill Depot in 2008, known as the Smooth Curve T modification. This restricts the engine to notch 1 of power for 10 seconds after moving away from off, with the intention of making sure all slack in the coupling is taken up before higher power is applied. It's colloquially known as the Smooth Curve T modification, as it's meant to make it less likely that passengers will spill their tea. The one problem is it only applies to leading power cars. If the driver applies power more enthusiastically, the rear power car will shove from behind and possibly provide more of a jolt than if both were working in tandem. Very odd. Note this modification is only active once single bank firing has kicked in 35 seconds after the power. Single bank firing has kicked in 35 seconds after returning the power handle to off. If you're reapplying power before 35 seconds has elapsed, power will apply without delay. We'll try and test that if we can. Yep. That's cool. So we've been over here in the Saab 340 video, But this was the viaduct I pointed out because over here, yeah, Edinburgh Airport. I say let's judge his landing, but I don't think we've got time. Is it an EasyJet Boeing? It's an Easy Boeing. Ooh, sharkless on that A320, nice. Oh, he despawned, he doesn't even land. Shocking. Right, what we'll do is I'm not rushing myself because I know there's a 385 in front of us that we will catch up. So I am going to just make sure I wait about another 30 seconds until I put the power back on. We'll see if we can catch single bank firing. When revving down to notches 2, 3, 4, amps reduce gently, broadly in sync with the engine RPM. When moving to notch 1, amps reduce more quickly if the driver requires a quick reduction in power. Moving to off then removes the power altogether almost instantly. As a result, it's recommended when reducing power you move to notch 1 and wait at least 5 seconds before going to off. To provide even smoother ride for the punters, move to notch 2, wait for the amp to settle, move to notch 1, wait for the amp to settle, then move to off. We'll try and do that. So, tractor effort, we've talked about that, I think. Yes, we have. Variable performance, that's fine. One engine only, we'll cover that off really quick. No, that's been covered actually in previous. First looks, hot water temps. We'll not notice that today, but it's basically the same as we had on the Valenta, but just far less noticeable. So in theory, that's been a full minute that I've been coasting now, so it revved instantly there. Yeah, because although it's revving more slowly, so I don't know if that's revving and then giving me amps. Yeah, it is. That's revving and then giving me amps. Fair enough. Wheel slip protection. So the original we would have covered during the Valenta pack. Brush electrics upgrade. When wheel slips encountered during acceleration, a two-stage process takes place. Power reduces quickly, and the wheel slip indicator light illuminates in the cab. Engine RPM does not change, only the load is removed. Once the wheel slip stops, approximately 50% of the second power notch is reapplied quickly, and the wheel slip indicator light extinguishes. The remaining power is slowly reapplied if wheel slip reoccurs. The process starts again. Adhesion, that's standard. Brakes, that's standard HSTs. Gradients, that's covered there. ATP, we're not talking about ATP, we're not interested in ATP. I will do an ATP video at one point. That's CSR. So CSR is a bit weird and wonderful. Basically, just log in. So GSMR, you log in with GSMR and you tell it your head code, and that way, that basically, because it knows what signal you're against, it knows which track circuit you're in, and it'll then populate that on the kit. In terms of train identifier, I think it's called. Basically, the system that I'm just going to take the L line in terms of speeding. There's this system on, I can't remember the word for it, train describer, that's what I was looking for. Basically tells train describer what I am. Whereas in the NRN days, you would just key in where you were, and then it would sort of join the frequency, if that makes sense. Whereas this joins, one of these operates more like a mobile phone network, instead of like an open radio frequency, and then also, yeah, it's basically very different. GSMR, we've talked about headlights, that's ATP stuff again, we're not interested in ATP stuff. Sorry, I know I said I went notch 1 for half a second. Dynamic exhaust effects, we'll make it a 10 just because, like I said, we'll be thrashing away in the not too distant future. Exhaust cam. It doesn't really work when you're at speed. We'll test it later. ETS. So to charge the batteries and supply power for all onboard equipment, actual train supply should always be on. This is done by holding the train supply on button until the train supply light illuminates. It's already illuminated, which means it tells us it's on the back. So that is our first. So we basically caught the 385 at 30 miles from Glasgow. Great. I'm just going to skim our speed off. DVD, driver's vigilance device. A dead variant is provided, and that's basically just a power down power car. Cold start. No, no need to cover up on that. 43048. It is the 43048 is our car that was recorded off. So yes, they did actually get new recordings for this, didn't they? That's cool. Yes, using recordings from 43048 at the Midland Railway Centre, we've attempted to capture every nuance of the Paxton VP185 engine. As mentioned in the physics section, 43 to a neutral drive, maintain constant tractor effort until 35. To maintain this tractor effort, the voltage being demanded from the alternator. I'm not calling this that, I'm sorry. Single bank firing, around 2008, single bank firing was fitted to VP185 power cars, which is only about half the engine banks are firing. The reason for this is that with all cylinders firing on large engines, such as the VP185, the engine is actually doing very little, just ticking over. As a result, fuel is liable to slide down the cylinders and collect in the oil sump, diluting the oil in the process, meaning it has to be changed more often. When single bank firing is active, 6 of the 12 cylinders work twice as hard, meaning more fuel is burned, not sliding down the cylinder. The other 6 aren't firing, so have no fuel in them. How does this work in practice? When idling, only the A-bank cylinders are firing. Upon selecting notch 1 of power, B-bank kicks in and all 12 cylinders will start firing, and the engine then will suddenly sound smoother and less rattling, as the engine momentarily has less to do before amps start building. When shutting off power, single bank firing will activate after 35 seconds. When we should hopefully clear at the next, we'll go back to greens. So I agree, it sounds rattly here, like a little bit rattly, and then we'll rag it away. Cooler groups. Yeah, this is standard to do this stuff. Obviously, fan factor. So finally, depending on the condition of the fan bearings, both the master and circ cooler groups could vary in volume quite considerably, entering a new X factor, fan factor. To represent this variance in the simulator, a random fan factor is allocated to each power car, ranging from 1 to 6, 1 being the quietest, 6 being the loudest. This can also be controlled on the lead power car using Shift F and Control F. We'll play with that. Compressor, standard. Horns, we don't have one that's sort of accurate here. I'm going to go to 048, so probably the closest, and that's a fan factor of 6. That's what we were on. Mint. There we go. AI. That's so yeah. You can make them blow the horns in a scenario which is quite fun. No, it didn't get caught there, did I? No, it didn't. Good. I've got a red. I'm going to go into full service here because I'm quite close, but I can actually stop that in time. No, I've not got a red. I saw the sun. I did a read across with the shunt signal. That's access to the Bowness and Kinneil Railway, in case you were wondering. There is a scenario I did where you bring a light loco 37 out there, which is quite fun. Oh, there you go. Oh, I've killed the engine somehow. Well, isn't that fun? Well, we'll get the engine start up. I literally only killed the front engine as well. That's quite upsetting. I like that. So I'm now going to just take it up into full power and get up to about 60 again. We've now pulled off double amber, single amber next. Bits and bobs. Both power cars on an AI train rev up and down in sync. Windscreen wipers on AI trains automatically turn on when it's raining. Speedometer needles drift due to small inaccuracies in speed calculation, not applicable on the ATP cabs. On AI trains in the summer between 0900 and 2030, there's a 1 in 20 chance of both cab doors being open and a 1 in 10 chance of the driver's door being open. So that is, of course, because it's hot. So we just open the cab door, get some fresh air in. We'll probably do it on the CES side, to be fair. But yeah, that's quite fun. There's a random delay between the doors closing and the guard giving though. Right away. Mask and corner group roof louvers open when the fan is running. AWS fault light on the driver's light extinguishers when you move the reverser away from off. Instrument light illuminates. Instrument lights illuminate when the reverser is away from off. The reverser must be placed in engine only to start the engine. Well, I don't think I did that, but interesting. I guess it'll probably... yeah, interesting. 1 second delay between the train passing over the ABS magnet, ABS warning, it's very typical. Like you just saw there. 3, 2, 1. So now that I'm back in idle, yeah, that does sound quite smooth. Let's see if we can listen out for the single bank firing going in. Headlights only provide illumination after sunrise, after sunset or before sunrise. That's fine. Engine stop button will shut down both power cars. The fire alarm test button shuts down on the local one. The engine start stop indicator light illuminates if either power car or both power cars are shut down. Features of the Mark IIIs. I feel like that's come back in there. That's fine. Double amber, single amber next. I'll keep it idle for now. On coaches with the original slam doors, each door is individually scripted and opens and closes at random. This means it's very rare that all doors will be open at once, just like in reality. The only exception, of course, is the guard's door on the TGS, which remains open the whole time. Central door locking. In the early 90s, CDL was fitted to prevent the doors being able to be opened on the move. Both original and LED variants of the accompanying body side indicator lights are included in this pack. It lives a few seconds before the indicator light extinguishes. Basically simulates the guard doing it, which is correct. Coach lights, sorry, so yeah, not applicable to this, and table lights for GNER. Coaches, not power cars. Suspension valve. Mark IIIs have very distinct sounds. As they go past. When releasing air, they make a hissing sound as well as a whine. That was what my sound effect was. Upon loading a scenario, each bogie on a coach is allocated a random pitch volume, and they overall whine at a different pitch to each other as per reality. The valves will only make a hissing sound and not the whine. So sometimes the valves will only make a hissing sound and not the whine. I can't speak English today. How often the valve releases air is scripted randomly and depend on speed and curvature of the track. It's more likely to sound at a lower speed and when leading into curves on super elevated track. There is a chance that upon stopping, the valve will continue to release air before slowly fading out and warbling in pitch. Since the advent of rail grinding, Mark IIIs have made a whining sound whilst moving. Also a traction motor which increases as speed increases. This is difficult to pinpoint. Basically all post-19 deliveries will have making sound. In addition to only primary high-speed routes that tend to receive regular visits from the rail grinder, so this sound tends to be all on secondary routes. Try and account for this, the speed of the line. So to try and account for this, if the speed of the line you're travelling on is below 80, you will not hear this whine. Let's see if we can listen out for it. Should check what that signal was, not gonna lie. I'm just to oh balls, I've spattered. That's what you get for reading and driving. Let's see if we can hear it. Oh yeah. No, I hear it though. That's direction motor sound. I don't know if you guys did. I'm just going to drop to the next signal and not do that again. Flush. Yes, your eyes don't deceive you. We have implemented flushing toilet practical effects. On coaches not fit with retention tanks up 15 miles an hour, each toilet will have a flush every 3 to 15 minutes. This functionality only activates once the doors have been opened in a scenario to prevent these effects incorrectly appearing on empty stock moves. These effects are also disabled on the new measurement train. Whilst this may all seem rather silly seeing this from the line side, always added a sense of speed as these mighty machines flew by. You just had to remember to look away at the right moment. Cab views, passenger views. 3 variants of passenger views are provided, which is Inner City Swallow, Great Western, GNER. 3 variants are provided. I can't speak English. The catering vehicle saloon, which is Inner City Swallow Macan. And then revs go on, and then interesting. I'm just trying to listen to the same blank firing and play with that. Inner City Swallow, Great Western trains, first Great Western livery. Interior is different. GNER, Middle and Mainline Blue, Middle and Mainline Blue Rio, East Mids trains, Middle and Pullman. Middle and Pullman is basically just a Great Western interior, just with a different texture on it. All other vehicles have a head-out view with a perfect place to enjoy the sights and sounds of the HST. So this is the Midland one. It literally just feels like Great Western this. And then we just swing into this seat here. So double amber, single amber next. Let's positively erupt out of here, right? In fact, that sounds so different, all that. Apologies for the slow. And a half miles to Highland. Like I say, we're following all the way. So all of the vehicles got the head out, like I said. Bits and bobs off of the Mark IIIs alone here, by the way. The frequency of which internal air conditioning sound activated stays on is depending on the season. The internal air conditioning sound varies up and down with engine RPM, with the power class playing the ETS. This is due to the AC being supplied direct from the ETS, which varies in voltage during engine RPM. When entering the passenger view of the Middle Main Line or East Mids trains, there's a 1 in 10 chance when the trains don't hear the classic announcement chime. Bing bong. Apart from the Middle and Pullman livery, coach data plans show the correct information as per the coach variant. Wow, the one livery I chose for this, setting up the driver's panel. Master key goes on. And to be fair, the Middle and Pullman, last I sort of think about them, they make a lot of mods to their coaches, so I understand it's not as possible as we think of it as being. I'm trying to shut off here. Seat notch 2, I remembered. There's no problem going any faster than 75. Notch 1. Let the RPM fall off fully. Off. Setting up the cab, standard driving guide. So, when you receive 2 pushes from the guard, return them by pressing the C key twice. Move the reverse in as you direction channel, forward in our case. And move the brake handle to hold by pressing a semicolon. Move the brake power handle to notch 1 by pressing A. Confirm the ammeter is rising. As soon as you've done that, move the power handle to notch 2 and then move the brake handle to the running position. I'll try. I should have try this pull away method, but I won't. As soon as you begin moving, move the power handle to notch 3 and apply further power as you see fit. Despite what certain Western routine driving techniques may have taught in the past, there's nothing wrong with being in notch 5 by the time you get 10 miles an hour. Speed limits permitting, of course. Wow. When returning the power handle to off, by pressing D. Ideally you should move to notch 2, wait for the amps to settle, notch 1, wait for the amps to settle, and then move to off. This provides the smoothest ride. To brake the train, you may make applications and releases by moving the brake handle between initial and full service by pressing the key. It is recommended you only use full service as a last resort to ensure you always have more brake horsepower available if required. Just before stopping, aim for the brakes to be an initial or hold to provide as smooth a stop as possible. Once at a stop, apply hold brake as initial is not trusted to hold the train in all circumstances. How placed in this scenario, that's the standard stuff, and nothing there particularly insane in the options. Well, yes, you can modify that. You can tell that you can basically tell the train to not have single bank firing, which is quite interesting. Yeah, and then ATP is just a extra little thing there. Traction motor isolation. To isolate the power traction motors, PL equals 3. This limits the engine alternator output to notch 3 to prevent damage to the 2 remaining operational traction motors. Standard. Basically, basically the way this works in real life is I just put a little bit of tape over one of the contacts to stop it completing a circuit. Ridiculous. Anyway, the scenarios that come with the pack, there are some pretty good ones here. I just wanted to do something a little bit different that wasn't the middle of mainline. Ignore that bush. I'm getting it trimmed later. Anyway, scenarios. HST VP185 1533 knots to St Pancras. 1 Zulu 10, the 920 Sheffield to Lincoln. So that is from Sheffield all the way down to Lincoln, takes 2 hours. Jeebus. Sheffield to St Pancras, 45 minutes, and that's just down there, Bedford, St Pancras. St Pancras, Nottingham, St Pancras, Bedford. Again, most of these are all West Coast, sorry, Middle and Mainline by DTG. Now, Zulu 43, 910 St Pancras to Cruise. So this was the first ever Pullman. Yes, it was actually the first ever Pullman. I actually modeled that. I'm going to be updating my scenario to cover it. I can't remember my first. I did that as a charity scenario in 2020. I remember it well. As long as I can find it, I'll release it. And that'll cover the middle and mainline portion between Leicester and Wash Valley Junction, basically, because we didn't have it as far as Manchester back in that day, and I don't want to model that now. I've not got access to the information, and it's easier and more reliable to release it in its original format. And also 5 Foxtrot 14 1541 Cricklewood Depot to St Pancras. We start moving. That will be quite a fun one because you do the startup as well, but yeah. But like I say, that it is a good pack. Well, I'm going to remind myself of the price point that I chose to not look at when I was paying for it. That was $24.99, or it's down to $14.99 if you're already on the blind to So my honest to God answer, back up to the turn and back into the Lambert territory. I'll just leave it in initial for now. Start skimming the speed, I think. Get the speed going in the right direction. Yes, so sorry. Overall thoughts on it. What I would say is I think I take the predominant view, I guess, in terms of sort of modelling current-ish era, so sort of like enjoying to drive current-ish era. So that is sort of like anything from, well, to be honest, it's close to current as I can, but you know, within sort of the last 5 to 10 years maybe, is where I tend to aim for. Oh crap! This is going to go badly. This is going to go really badly. Badly. Yeah. But like I say, so my sort of advice would be M2 HST is your first buy, and that's just because that is the most common one in sort of post 2010. Oh, that was close. And then after that, probably, so for fun noises, Valenta. For actual things you're probably going to drive, VP185. That would be my advice. Yeah. And then, where did I open you? But yeah, beyond that, that's sort of my perspective on what I would buy. Obviously, that is very expensive, so you know, buy what is affordable to you and what's right for you. But yeah, basically. I'm just giving it a notch too, just to keep it advancing around the circle, around the curve. Sorry. This is Croy, I believe. So that's the last stop for the ScotRail Expresses, I think. So we'll probably pick up a little bit of speed from here. But we're already 10 miles to Carlisle now, so you know, within sort of 2 miles-ish, the signals will start jumping up against us. So we'll not have that lot of high speed running now. But I just want to see the next signal before I commit to from the power on, like a heavy power on. Wasn't paying attention to that signal. Dubs. I'll go for not 5 for a bit. We'll go up to 60. 60, 75. Oh, it's gone up to a green. Perfect. Blind speed. So basically, because I know I'm following the 385, and I know a 385 is travelling at 100 miles an hour, yeah, that's as fast as where we'll actually travel, so therefore we won't catch up in theory. I do have a query here, actually. So we're nearly up to line speed now again. We'll be on the brakes soon, I trust. But overall, Lake Morar is great. I absolutely love the VP185s, and I've sort of done this run sort of 2.5 times now because I crashed. Well, my game crashed, I should say, part way through my second attempt. And it's a nice drive. Like, it definitely is a bit more of a thinking trying to drive this, and it sort of pulls. Whereas a sort of 800 or something like that will not really let you get in trouble, and if you do, you can just go, oh, full brakes, and it'll save you. This thing, you've got to think about driving a bit more, and it's just something that requires a bit more consideration before you operate, and I quite enjoy that. Yeah. Going wide, or just coast now. Like I said, we're not that far from Carlisle. Terms. So basically, Carlisle, I'll show you today. So that's Eastfield Depot. So when we did the video coming down from Highland, which is where this goes off to, this is where we came down, and we basically came down the other side of this chord and ran into Queen Street, which is here. That's Springburn, where we did our Springburn to Brent Partick from. So Glasgow's actually, like this side of Glasgow, we've covered quite well. I need to do on this route still at some point in the not too distant future the Annisland run. Just because I'm starting to get dubs, I'm going to just skim speed. This is the HST depot. I can't remember the name of the location. Cada. So you've got 43, 031, and over. Which one's that? 182. It's up here then, which I think is quite cool. This is just how it spawned. 43030 with 43050 bombing past. So very much sisters in the past. Double amber, single amber next. So really, it's single amber, red at 1.5 miles away, which is fine. Like we can comfortably stop that if we needed to. Like I'm hoping to, when I sight this next signal, make a decision on brake application then. And bear in mind, we're already at 75 anyway. Like I probably not want to go much below 40 or 50, so it's not a massive braking curve to be had. Double amber still, so we'll stay where we are because it's still about 1.5 miles till we need to stop. So it's quite good in that sense. Anyway, folks, I'm going to start wrapping this up. So I've concluded my thoughts on the 185s, the 185 power cars. They're great. Like I say, it's a good pack. It's the nichest of the three, I would say. I would probably rank my usefulness, to me at least, as sort of a modernish player. MTU, VP185, Valenta. But Valenta is very fun. Valenta is, it's basically the fun noises of a Deltic and an HST. Like, that's the way I can describe it. It's not quite a Deltic, but it's, yeah. And now I'm just going to put a brake on to get us down to 25 and then 15 for Caroline's. And then we stop on the chord. And get held for something to go in front of us. I will make a part 2 for this pack because I really enjoy playing it. There we go. I think it was probably... I probably shouldn't have tabbed that, and as I would have slowed down drawing up to it, it would have pulled off, but alas. I hit tab now. Just constant alarms going off, but we are making it. Like I say, after we come out from under this tunnel portal, or this bridge portal, sorry, you'll see Eastfield Depot on the left, and then we'll veer to the right. Much like UK politics. Hey! Yeah, what a day. Right. 175, 452 was that? Wasn't paying attention. 452. No, I am paying attention. Oh, light off. Got the cab light while I was trying to put the brake on. That's not good. Get the fresh air on the go though, because we'll push some in as we sort of creep over the point work here. Notch 1. So I've left the depot quite empty intentionally, but it just gives you something to look at as you rumble past. Anyway, folks, doodles, thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, don't forget, the like button is there. Wallop it. See you guys in the next one, though. Next video is out tomorrow, and it'll probably be me sinking a Kirov. I know. But anyway, until tomorrow, guys. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye-bye. Okay, but like, why are you guys still here?